Hello, and welcome to Proper Chat, a podcast all about your favorite show, Love Island. I'm Nicole with my three other lovely hosts here. We're here to talk about Love Island All Stars, and we're kicking off the last week to talk about some of the episodes. So we're on episodes 3 through 8. So if you haven't seen those episodes yet, go watch them, then come back and listen to this podcast. We're going to give our top 5 favorite moments. We're going to dive into our favorite tier ranking game. And then we'll end with some juicy rumors that we're seeing on social all about Love Island. Before I check in with the host, I wanted to say that we are officially live on YouTube. Woohoo! So if you want to hear us in your ears and see our gorgeous faces, you can do that. Just search for Proper Chat Love Island podcast and you'll find us. All right, on to the hosts. Let's go around and say what our high and low for the week are. Brana, want to kick us off?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Brana. And my high for the week was I had a fun little staycation with my sister and my friend over the weekend. I had a free hotel night that expired Saturday. So I was like, okay, Saturday, we're using the points. And yeah, we just stayed at like a cute little hotel in downtown and had a delicious dinner. We went to this Turkish restaurant that was really yummy. It's actually a sister restaurant of the brunch place Lakma that I love going to. So it was like their like dinner format. It was really good. We should all go there sometime.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was good. And lows, I don't feel like I had any lows this week. It was pretty good week. No complaints here. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I'll go next. Hi everyone, my name is Langa. I have no lows, just like Brana, but
Wow.
I don't have a low, but
That's
I'd say
great.
my high since we last recorded was, I think, quite a few highs. I actually went for a run with Nicole, and then we went because she's training for marathon, so she needed assistance for someone to run the short distance with her, and so we ran together, and then she cooked us a very delicious dinner. I'm not even a tofu girly usually, and she made us a Korean stew, which was like kimchi. It was so good. And then my other high was this past weekend, I went to go see Lacey Mosley, aka Scam Goddess, like a live podcast recording. That was super great. And we were singing in the second row. So it was so amazing. It was so exciting to get to see her in person, as well as because I took Jeremy along, my partner too, and he had never heard of her. By the time we left, he was like obsessed with her. So it was great.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Cute.
That's awesome. My name is Gabby. My high is that I'm in San Francisco this week for work, I guess for the next couple days or so. But that is making it really hard for me to track my macros. And I don't know if you all know this, but I've been tracking my macros for a month now. I'm hitting a month. And it's been really nice and helpful just to learn about like my nutrition, and I've been trying to stay really good about meal preps and stuff like that. So it's making it a little harder now that I'm in the city, because with work and everything, it's just hard to try to get a healthy meal. So that's my only low is that. And then also because I'm so busy with work, I'll probably not be able to do much more than just be at the office. So it is a bummer. And I do feel like I'm not in my favorite part of the city right now. And it's so like drastic from all the parts that I typically go to. So it just doesn't feel like I am in the city.
Yeah.
Totally. Maybe that's my low, is that you're here, but we don't get to hang out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm really bummed about that.
Yeah. Next
it's just
time.
so hectic.
Any last week though, Gabby, you said a low was that you didn't get a puppy. Any updates on the puppy front?
No updates. That's another low. I've been really excited about about looking, and yeah, I don't think so. And I think it's gonna be a while because I've been really picky about what type of dog meets our needs.
Yeah.
We'll see. Honestly, I just want a border collie. That's what I want. A little border collie mix type of dog. But
those are good dogs.
Yeah, just to run around and land. Yeah, friendly, happy, that vibe.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just remembered, Lenga, your low last week was that you were going to the office to start working this week, but then midweek you found out that you weren't going into the office for the first time. So
Yeah,
that's
so
kind of like a
my
high as
high,
well.
my high was I got to stay home and
Yeah.
it was raining, so it's been fantastic. I got to play The Sims for another week.
Perfect.
Today was
Amazing.
productive, but usually just playing The Sims.
One more week of freedom.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
Nicole,
cool.
what about you?
Yeah, I was trying to think of what a high was, but yesterday and a couple of days ago, Boris and I, my partner, have been trying to get back in a more music routine, and we actually got in a really great flow yesterday and started putting a song together. So
Oh.
TBD on when
Ooh.
that will come out, but music in the future, hopefully. So
Cute.
yeah, that was fun.
Cool.
My only low is more of like a cultural low. The Oscar nominations came out this week. I don't know if you saw. And some good news was that the company I work for, one of our films was nominated for Best
Oh,
Documentary,
wow,
which
cool.
Oh, wow.
you guys should watch. It's called Four Daughters.
Wow.
But obviously the
Okay.
low was the lack of Greta Gerwig and the top directors nom. So
Mhm.
upset about that. Also thinking about Chris through all of this, like he's in the villa, like a part of the Barbie movie, but then doesn't know about these nominations. A weird meta thought I had. I was like, he has no idea
Yeah.
that Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie didn't
Uh-huh.
get nominated.
He doesn't know. They got
No
snubbed.
clue.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So now we're going to get into the top 5 moments from the week. Go through all of the highlights and lowlights and all of our favorite moments. So, Langa, do you want to kick it off?
Yes, we as a group decided that possibly the biggest moment of the week was just the unraveling after the Demi and Lewis kiss, because we feel like a lot of drama and like collateral damage and aftershock just continued to happen after the kiss. Especially for me, one of the things that stood out to me, and I thought Kaz was like, it made her so amazing, is that once like at some point when she figured out that the kiss had happened and Mitch knew that they were coupling, and the way that he was telling her to pick Lewis, and then her realizing that, oh, it wasn't because he was actually supporting her, because obviously they said that they're best mates in the villa. And obviously she's, oh, this was just you being messy Mitch, as we've constantly being learned that that's just the resurgence of him is back. And the fact that she was like, oh, and also like another thing, Kaz being annoyed, being like, oh, so like you actually just chose Lib as a second choice. So I think just like Kaz kind of being like, cut the bullshit, Mitch, I see your game loud and clear, and just be honest with what you did.
Yeah, I totally picked up on like his ulterior motives. And I think when we were standing there and Mitch was like, go for a girl, it could have been like a really, oh, cute. He's like besties with her. He's like telling her to stick up for herself. But because we knew behind the scenes who he was going for, I felt like, damn, that this is Mitch just egging people on and stirring the pot. And yeah, and then it all came out in Villa, which I'm glad that Kaz finally found out.
I didn't like how Demi handled the situation. I felt like when she had the opportunity to chat about it with Kaz and Lib, and I know that when she does end up leaving, she talks about this. She didn't want to be like Caddy or be the type of girl that's like talking about it right away, right after it happens. Oh, guys, I went upstairs and kissed the guy that you like. And I understand that perspective, but I don't know. I feel like she's come off a little bit shady a few times. And
she like
I don't
sat
think she
there.
wants to. She
Yeah, because
sat
I
there
think that's
and
the thing, is because she
there.
sat next to them. I think that's what killed me the most. Is at
like,
least if you're
"Hi,
not going to
guys."
tell them, don't go sit with them. At least
Look at
like
that.
she could have been like, oh, I got a water, then they called us for the recoupling. The fact that it happened and she sat there, and I feel like also the Love Island, being on Love Island is like things like move really fast, and that's why like gossip moves really fast, because they've got nothing to do but talk about each other. So it's kind of being like, girl, like it's gonna come out. You've been on the show before, and it's just nip it in the butt like as soon as possible. possible. And also her constantly
soon
saying,
as
oh, we're
possible.
best friends. And fine, you don't want to hurt her
Best
feelings.
mates.
Yeah. But then also being like, girl, like there's people talk in this place. Like you
Mhm.
want to make sure like you like are in front of your drama before, because then it's really hard to feel like credible.
I was gonna say, like, part of me thinks that maybe it was a situation where the producers were like, okay, trying to get them to be in the same area. So they were like, hey, we're about to have a moment around the fireplace. And then they made her go sit over there, and and then they eventually did have that fireplace call, but they might have prematurely pushed the girls to that area just so that they could get that moment.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's crazy how like all of that came out later, and also how Lewis immediately picked up on Mitch sort of stirring all of it and how he kicked off to Mitch. That
Mhm.
moment was so tense. He like
Yeah.
was yelling at him. I feel like Mitch had no idea where it was coming from. Everyone else was what just happened. And
Yeah.
it wasn't until later that everyone was like, oh, okay, yes, some of the what you were saying, Lewis, was like valid, but also he did not have to kick off that hard that quickly.
Mhm.
I think that was a little intense.
I'm guessing he already didn't Mitch had
Yeah.
already to begin with, so just gave him a reason to just be like, yeah, I knew.
Yeah. I feel like in
I
traditional
think
boy
he was
style.
super
Go ahead, Gab.
yeah. I was just gonna say, I think he was just super upset. He really wanted to be with Demi, and in his house, like, if you are playing it this way, then it's not gonna go my way. And he had no other connections really there for him
Mhm.
because he had like already gotten rid of all the other connections. So I feel like he was upset because that happened.
Totally. Can I talk about my favorite moment from the film?
Yes.
Okay, so it happened early on. I think this was before the Lewis stuff happened, but when Chris and Molly were chatting and Chris pulled Molly up to the terrace, and they have this sort of moment where did you know that if you stare into someone's eyes, that you can fall in love with them for 2 minutes or whatever? So he was like, we should stare into each other's eyes. And anyway, they're staring and it's so smooth. And then he just comes in for a kiss
Yeah.
and it happens. And I thought Chris was like very smooth in that moment. And it was like so gushy and silly to watch. But also, I feel like Molly was overtaken by his smoothness in that moment. I
Mhm.
don't think she actually maybe wanted to have a situation with Chris, or she was still kind of sussing out her feelings about it. So I don't know if she would have like actively been like, I want to kiss Chris for that moment that sort of she got caught up in.
Yeah.
Anyway, smooth
He's so
moves, Chris.
funny. Yeah. He's
Really?
just
I
so
didn't think
silly.
it was that great. I thought it was a little creepy because they're going through this argument and they're going back and forth. You can obviously tell how bothered they are, and they're like resurfacing issues that they had in their relationship. And I have to have a call. I need to talk to you right now. And then he
It was
Yeah.
like
calls and
bad
he goes up there,
timing.
Bad timing. I agree with
takes
that.
advantage of the situation. It's just weird. And I don't like Chris. To me, I don't like his vibe.
Oh, I like him.
Something's off.
I think the bad timing, 100% I agree with Gabby, because at the end of the day, it's like Molly was fighting with her partner for
Right
years.
before.
So this is very serious. And I know fine Chris wants to be like the jokey guy, but I feel like because of like the serious conversation that we're having, which is obviously based
Yeah.
on the reasons why they broke up, I don't know if like you being like, I'm just gonna sweep you up like completely like random guy. It's no, this
Yeah.
is my real life. It isn't like crazy.
Yeah.
But I agree. For me, I think we'll discuss this later, but I do think maybe we might see a better version of Chris now that he's coupled up with someone who's a little bit more direct
Yeah.
and is not thinks he's funny, but is also I didn't come here to make jokes. And so I think this might make him like actually just stop like cracking jokes or trying like doing too much. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Mm.
I
Yeah, I
agree.
think
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arabelle is a good match for him because she
Mhm.
does cut through the jokes and be like,
Yes.
tell me how you actually feel. 'Cause
Yes, but at
Mhm.
the same time, she does still think he's funny. Like she's, I
Yeah.
do find you funny. Thank you, you've been funny, but I'm not looking for the guy to be funny. And like
but
also
tell me how
why,
you feel.
and
Totally.
also
Yeah.
why do you always need to be funny?
Yeah.
Totally.
She sees through his like defense mechanism of the comedy and the constant jokes, and but
Yes,
also I want to know who you actually are, because I think she sees something there. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I feel like I go back and forth with him. I think I'll like him I think I'll like him more
me too.
with Arabella in this
Same.
relationship. The fashion is
Same.
like not for me.
Yes.
But
Agreed.
but and I'm sure Langa, you have opinions on that piece as well. But yeah.
Yeah.
I've only been focused
Totally.
on Callum and his fashion because he's fine, but he always wears those Birkenstocks at night.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Gabby, what was your favorite moment of the week?
I Oh, so it's not a favorite moment. I just cling to this moment when Arabella came in, and Chris has already done this before, where he just asks who slept with who, and then when
Mm-hmm.
Arabella comes in, Chris is like pressuring Toby, like pressuring him. Toby's, I don't want to talk about this man, and he like pressures him. I thought it was really strange that he like kept asking him if he had slept with the girl, just like very pushy. And then Toby denied it and he was like, my hand. And then later on, they show a scene where it's Georgia and Arabella, they're talking, and then she says, hey, I had a one night stand with Toby.
Yeah.
And then Georgia is like, what, you slept with him? And she was like, yeah. So it's like an interesting thing. I do wonder if that happened, or not that we have to know, but it was just like interesting
Yeah.
that they put both perspectives there. And I actually think it was good that Toby didn't open up like that if he didn't
I
want to.
agree.
I just thought it was
Yeah.
really weird that he was like being pushed to that. No one needs to know that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was my thought
Yeah.
on that.
But
And I
it
just thought
Totally.
it was an interesting perspective from both sides.
totally.
For
And
Obviously,
I
sure.
also
don't
didn't.
and I don't think Georgia was like being pushy when she was asking Arabella. Arabella was like girl to girl, yeah, we slept together. Also,
Yes.
Yeah.
Georgia's response was like, I just didn't see that. I don't see that. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God. She was like, she did not take that well. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Georgia didn't take a lot of things well this week.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, which kind of leads into, I think my biggest moment of the week was just the whole Georgia, Toby, Callum, Molly love square situation, where first it was like Georgia was upset because Toby and the whole drama of him being more open, and then she's, wait, I didn't think we were open, and then coming to that realization where they were just not a thing, and then Georgia then be like, okay, who am I going to focus on now? Bam, Callum. He's available. Nobody besides Molly. And that's been a whole awkward, weird dynamic between the two. So then she talks to Callum and he's into Georgia, because who wouldn't be into Georgia? Stunning. And yeah, and then Molly is, oh, yeah, sure. But then as Georgia and Callum are like talking more and actually building a connection, I think Molly's having a big oh shit moment.
Yeah.
Like, wait, I actually did think I want maybe to get back with him, and now he's getting on with another girl, and yeah, and then in last night's episode, we had the game and there was the whole kissing, and then Toby and Molly shared some kisses during the game. So is there going to be something there? I mean, I'm sure Toby will go for Molly because she's also stunning. Toby is available for all the ladies. Yeah, it's just like very interesting. I'm so curious to see how this is all going to pan out. And at the end, are Callum and Molly just gonna get back together, or is this gonna bring them closer? Or I don't know. It's like hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because also, I think, in my opinion, I think like Georgia and Molly are like wanting similar things from like different guys. Because again, Georgia was just hoping Toby would choose her, and Molly was hoping Callum would choose her. And they're both like going for the same, like very similar guys who like clearly are not really the guys that are going to choose you. So I
Yeah.
think it's just very interesting. It's in my opinion, they like going for guys are like very similar, I would say, versus, but
Yeah.
mine is maybe Toby listens more because he remembers a little bit more, but like Callum, for example, not understanding where Molly was coming from communication wise, because when they communicate, they're clearly on different pages, because he couldn't understand why she was like, oh no, I actually wanted you to chase me, and he's, oh no, but you were kissing someone else, and she was like, I was doing that to see if you really wanted to be with me. So it's being on total different pages. So I feel like that was very interesting dynamic there. And then obviously then Georgia and Toby, with I think the problem with, I don't know with women who go for Toby? Is it like, do they think that they're going to be like the one person to change Toby? So it's how Georgia's like, she wanted to be close with Toby, but it's, girl, we've seen Toby on TV. He's not going to be closed. Like he did in his own season in Love Island Games. We saw it as well. Like he wants to play the field. And if you push on it, he's going to make you feel like you're crazy, because he's going to be like, I didn't say we're together. I've been open from the jump. So I think it's just very confusing. But it comes to my favorite moment, assuming, Bronner, you're finished with your moment. I think what I really liked was Molly telling Toby and being like, but like, as much as like this, like it's very murky here and everyone's just doing the most, but she was saying that Toby does have to take responsibility for his actions, because like as much as he's, oh, I didn't do anything to Georgia, or I didn't blah blah blah, and Molly's actually, if you really think about it, you know what you did. And I think that's really good, because Toby mustn't think that he's just going to go for Molly and then she's going to be like, oh my gosh, this guy's amazing, because also she can see like his mess, and then obviously it's up to her whether she's going to be into it.
Yeah, I like that she called him out on his bullshit, because we've seen it on the screens. I think like the public knows it, but everyone on the guy side of the villa just is like, Toby, whatever, and all the girls are like, hello, commit for once. And yeah, I think she was right to go in and be a little cautious with him, because yeah, who knows, the next bombshell could come in and his head could turn very easily.
Welcome everyone to our tier ranking game, where we talk through our favorite islanders and rank them in our categories. That will find love, will find followers or clout, stuck in Friendship Island, why are you here? And then put islanders where when they've left the island. Things to keep in mind as we're playing this game is we'll post the results tonight, and you can let us know who, if you agree or disagree with who we put in these categories. So I'll start sharing my screen.
And again, this is our opinion.
Yeah. You can have your own.
But let us know your opinion. We want
to hear it.
To know. We want to know. Engage in the comments.
Yeah. All right.
I'm like, yes, but no.
Okay, so starting with the Islanders who we thought will find love in last week's episode or last week's section. We said Lib, Demi, Georgia, and Callum, and then Molly. Have you all changed your opinion on Lib? Do you think that she's still here for love?
I think she's stuck in Friendship Island.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do.
I don't know if she's going to find love anymore.
Especially since also having a conversation with Boris, Nicole's partner, the other day, I was like, as a guy, because we watch, just wondering, this is like a male perspective, like why does she just keep finding herself? Was again, she's exactly where she was in the games. And also Jake was like in her season, technically the only guy really vying for her. So I was also just always so curious, like, why don't they pick her? And so I think based on those conversations, I feel like it's stuck in Friendship Island in my opinion.
I agree.
I'm upset though, because Mitch is definitely playing her, and she has like alcohol glasses, like goggles. She like cannot see behind his mess. And
any moment she's like even called him out on his shit this week as well. It's still, but then she calls him out and she comes in hot-headed, but then he still finds a way to get her to be like, okay, like he's
so
really
quickly
good with his words.
Which is so crazy, because I was like, for me it makes me cringe, but for her she is giggly and laughs and moves on. We're like, girl, you were just so upset. So that's so confusing, I think, especially like when she tries and has very serious conversations and she's, I'm not second pick, blah blah blah. You can just see that goes one in one ear and goes out the other for Mitch. He's just like, anyway.
He smiles and then kisses her and it's fine again.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, and she says she's not going to talk to him. She always says, I'm going to wear my sexy outfit and then go out there and not talk to him. But does that even do anything? I don't think Mitch even cares. And last week, right before Messy Mitch was back, literally the day before we had our last episode, and we were so excited for Lib. We said, oh, this is like a good pair. This is probably like a great match. And then
we were so hopeful.
Next episode that was aired, was Messy Mitch
Yeah.
is back.
I
Yeah.
like to let the
Blasted
record
on the
know
screen.
that I was still skeptical of the mess. I wasn't
I
sure
was
about him.
Yeah, you and I were skeptical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Demi's gone.
Well, what about
Demi.
Mitch, you guys? Like
He can stay there.
her he can
Yeah.
say, and why are you here? Yeah, we're like upset. I think Mitch is, I just honestly cannot picture someone with Mitch. I still cannot.
I'm
He's
okay with
too
It's really hard for me
immature.
to,
Yeah. I'm almost okay with putting him in the
Yeah,
like follower
unfortunately.
clout potentially too.
Totally.
Because I feel like more episodes that keep going on, the more I'm like, he's stirring the pot for like the moments that he gets the
Yeah.
airtime.
So
Totally.
you're saying he just likes being the villain and he's happy just to keep coming back and continuously being the villain?
Yeah, like even in the game from last episode,
Yeah.
he said, what did he say?
Yeah.
That
Is this controversial or it's
Yeah.
going to be messy or whatever?
yeah,
That-
he just
yeah.
said something that like
He said Toby was the most loyal.
Oh, yes. And then
Arabella
Arabella was the
least
most,
loyal.
was
yeah,
the
I
least
We were like,
remember.
loyal.
what?
And everyone in the villa was like, excuse me, where did that come from? But
I
like,
mean, he's like, Toby's my friend. Like, Toby's the least loyal.
Yeah.
So
it
He
was
is
for
definitely-
clout.
Yeah.
He absolutely has a brand that he's trying to keep forward with. And it's almost, if he keeps up with that, he feels like the show's gonna want him back because he's
Right.
creating this drama for the show. Like he's totally playing the game. So are you guys okay with
Yeah.
putting him in the
Mhm.
we'll find clout? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Demi left the island. How do you guys feel about that? I'll move her down since she's
Yeah. Bye,
left.
Demi.
Her
Bye,
and
Lewis.
Lewis.
Honestly, when
Yeah.
Lewis left, I was like, sayonara. I just don't like him. So unfortunately, Demi had to go with him because I feel like Demi's
Yeah.
good, but we did discuss that we did feel she was like
Yeah.
semi shady-ish, you know, depending where
Semi-shady.
you were. Because yeah, shady because she didn't handle the situation based on being in Love Island, but also Lewis, sayonara.
Sayonara. We didn't know you that well.
Also, like,
at this
why?
point.
I don't even need to
Yeah.
know.
True.
him.
It's fine.
I just don't understand why Demi even liked Lewis.
Said,
Maybe
like,
that's
he's
too
her
mean
type
of me to
looks-wise.
say.
Yeah, they didn't have
Yeah.
enough time to dig into the personality. I think she
Mhm.
might have found some flaws there.
I
Mhm.
mean,
Who knows?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's a person for everybody, but I just thought Demi was so bubbly and she came off very happy, and then Lewis came off very like draining. That's my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
He's got,
All right.
got
So-
2 kids to go home to.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
The same thing because I watched this episode with Jeremy and his daughter Claire, and like they were like, "Oh my god, so cutthroat!" And I was like, "No, he got kids to go home to.
Yeah, he's got
fine.
responsibilities.
He's got things to do. Okay."
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do wonder, it's like sometimes I wonder if they even have conversations about their normal life on this show. Does Demi ever ask, oh, what is his normal life like? None of that is, I can't imagine them having that conversation. I just don't know
Yeah.
if she was even thinking about that. Maybe she was. Maybe she's good with the kids and all that. But
But also, he has
I-
two
harder
parents
to
from
see.
2 different kids, though. So it's like, when does he have free time?
Yeah.
Unless his parenting days are on the same day. Like, I'm dating someone with kids, but I'm just, that's like one from one
Yeah.
parent, one woman. But it's for him. It's like, what are his parenting kind of styles? Like, when would you guys even go on dates? Because the kid's also pretty young, so it's like I would also be
Yeah.
very interested to know what kind of
Same.
conversations they're
I want to
having.
know those conversations. I feel like they omit a lot of those conversations because they want like the public to be oblivious of it and us thinking like, oh, they're just like there for each other and like love and nothing else matters. I think sometimes they like take out that because we've never
Well, yeah.
seen them have conversations about that.
I think,
It's
but
really
I
rare.
also feel like as we said earlier, is that I also think sometimes like the producers or whoever makes the show kind of chooses who they want us to see and who to focus on. Because I think, for example, we were like, as example, up until this week, like with the Tyler stuff, like we don't know what she's been doing all week. And
Yeah.
like, even like in the
Haven't seen
past,
her.
other islanders have always said that, like they've said, oh no, don't be shocked that I was close with this person. Like we actually spent a lot of time, but it just didn't get a lot of screen time. So I
Yeah.
think, because even that being said, it's like we haven't got to them yet, but I'll forget it if I don't say it. But it, like Chris and Arabella, brand new couple, and they got their first date in that episode. So I think for them, they were like the two attractive couples were giving them a date versus maybe like someone else. I just felt like it was very strange that they got the first date and Arabella had just got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Georgia? I know that
I love her. We'll find
Georgia
love.
and Toby
I hope
has,
she finds love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's my favorite. And
so
Kaz is my
far,
favorite.
me too. But definitely not Toby.
No.
She had a
No.
triangle situation, but I think she let him go and is now focusing on Callum. So what do you
Yes.
guys think about Callum and Molly? I think we initially put them in the Will Find Love, but now I'm not sure. They
Yeah.
seem a little confusing to me.
I feel like Callum will find love, whether it's
Yeah.
with Molly or Georgia,
I
honestly.
agree. I think he'll find love with someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
Molly
agree.
will find love. If she doesn't find love with Callum, I don't know if she'll find love. She's not gonna find love with
Yeah.
Toby.
Not with
It's not gonna be
Toby.
Toby.
No,
so
she's not.
it'd
Not
have to
with
be like
Toby.
a new bombshell that comes in. In the meantime, I think right now she's stuck in Friendship Island. Because Callum is focusing on Georgia and she doesn't have anyone else at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think in a perfect world, at least for me, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Mhm.
I don't know if Georgia's ready to take on a committed relationship like that in the villa. And I don't think that Callum is like the perfect match for her. I think there could be a guy, potentially a bombshell that walks in very soon that would turn her head. And I think there's still some things that Molly and Callum have to sort out in order
Yeah.
for him to come to Georgia. So in my perfect scenario, they would end up back together and hopefully sort through their communication problems. But Georgia needs to find a good match because we love
Mhm.
her.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because if Georgia goes straight for Callum, in my opinion, as you've said from Unfinished Business with Molly, it's you like the rebound, and sometimes rebound relationships work out. But I do think what we're seeing is like there's just a lot of left unsaid items, and I also am like Georgia should actually just be with someone who's just as ready as she is, like a standalone person. So
Yeah.
I feel like Callum is still like just so much baggage that he even has to work through, and just I think also just communication wise, I think Callum's like absolutely terrible. How he was like, he barely even knows how to read Molly, a woman he dated for so long. That's crazy.
That confuses me so much because part of me is, oh my gosh, he sounds like such a nice guy. It sounds like he's just stuck on, I really liked her. I'm trying to like make it work, but I just can't get through the communication. It just say something, talk to her, and not with other people. Like we've hardly ever seen them just talk one-on-one. It's really crazy that they're not even talking. I just don't know. I think honestly, with that relationship, it's almost like they just need to communicate about their real intentions. And then if their real intentions is to find somebody, move on. I don't think it's them. I don't think that they can work through this issue if they're not gonna be like really open. But the thing that bothers me about what we've seen so far is that it's like, I think this is why we broke up. I think this is what you think about me. I think it's so many assumptions. Like, okay, like why don't you just talk through it? That's my thought.
Totally, yeah.
What do you
They're
guys
like
think
talking across each
about?
other.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I guess moving on to people that we thought were here for clout or people that will find followers, clout. One of the guys was Chris. What do you guys think?
I feel like I could see him finding love with Arabella if things continue. I feel like they've got a really good thing going for him.
And like a real believable chemistry.
Yeah, I really do
Like,
believe it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I find their chemistry to be very, I don't know. I feel like Arabella and Toby's chemistry, not real chemistry. And they're like, oh, we bounce off banter. I was like, this is dumb. But then I feel like Chris and Arabella, it just feels really real. I don't know. I just feel like there's just the way they communicate. Also, they also like suit each other. I think they would make a fantastic couple.
I think they're more mature together versus like with Arabella and Toby. It's like a combination of like she's more mature, but Toby's less mature in a relationship. Whereas like Chris and Arabella just seem more like on the same wavelength, like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
they're around the
Yeah.
same age too, and Toby's
Exactly.
still a
That's what
little
I was gonna say.
child,
Yes,
so
exactly.
I
Yeah.
think you're totally right. I do think there is a little bit of the dynamic that they have is nerdy guy, weird kind of guy,
Yeah.
like hot
Mhm.
model girl, and like
Totally.
the more
Yeah.
we see them together, I think the more we'll see it work. But I think they still need to. Chris needs to open up. Arabelle needs
Mhm.
to get more silly, and I think I think you're right. I think maybe they'll vibe very well.
Yeah. So yeah, you can
You can
add,
put
I think
her.
you can put them together.
Yeah, since we
I was
spoke
gonna
about
say
it.
Arabella came in. We'll just put her on We'll Find Love as well. What about Anton? I thought that when Anton and Hannah this week did their recoupling, I don't know. I thought it was cute. I am starting to like Hannah a lot more. I feel like I wish she got a little bit more airtime, and I feel like she doesn't really have anybody there that she's compatible with.
Yeah, she's
Well,
stuck
I
in
think,
so
yeah.
Friendship
unfortunate because
Island so
Yeah,
far.
she's still
Yeah.
in
she's gonna be
Friendship
stuck in
Island.
Friendship Island.
But I will
Yeah.
say with Anton, like he rekindled things with Georgia H this week, but I don't know. I'm getting like, I think he likes
Weird.
her a lot more than she liked him's, vibes.
I
Yeah.
know. It's
So
like
I think he's in Friendship Island.
I think so too. Like as much as I think I like him as a friend. Like I would have been
Yeah.
like me and Anton are buddies, and I like that him and Hannah are
Yeah.
besties. They're really fun
Mhm.
together.
Yes.
But yeah, I think this whole him Georgia situation is her waking up every day trying to convince herself that Anton's the right
Yeah.
decision, and that's not how you want to start a relationship. You want to
No.
be like excited about the person that you're starting something with.
Yeah. I almost feel
Yeah,
like,
it
yeah, we
was
can
so
put
weird when he
Georgia
was
in what? Oh, I feel like we could almost put Georgia in Friendship Island along with him because I feel like they're both there.
yeah, definitely. What do you guys think about Kaz?
I think she's also still in Friendship Island, unfortunately. I know obviously in the last few episodes, Tyler, her ex, came in, and that was a big surprise. I was like, finally, some airtime for this girl. We need
But then I
more.
also was like, no, Nicole was right that this is
Right.
the excited. X on the beach,
I
basically.
Totally.
know the producers
Yeah.
are bringing in the exes, and we're not sure about it
Why
yet.
they do that?
I
I
don't
just
love it.
don't
I
get
won't
why they
lie.
keep doing that.
Especially,
No,
and they're bringing
it's
like
not
the
a
ex that you never, ever want to see. They're like,
Right.
surprise. Like, what the?
yeah, they're like expecting them to be happy. Like they're not gonna be happy. And basically forcing them to pick them as if like they're rekindling things. Like we don't want to see that. We want
Yeah.
to see fresh relationships
Yeah.
form on this
Agree.
beach. I'm
Yeah.
tired of
Yeah.
seeing exes.
Yeah,
I
me
can
too.
Yeah,
I can see it being smart with the Georgia Topi situation because it was always a will they, won't they? But bringing
Yeah.
in your ex that you haven't talked to in 2 years / your ex
3
you
years
literally just
ago.
broke up with, those are the worst
Yeah.
situations ever. Terrible.
Also, one
It's a
thing I really didn't
drag.
like was how Tyler, like after he chose Kaz, the way he spoke to her, like he was like, "Are we gonna do this
Yes.
now?" Or like just the rude. Like I was
Yeah.
like, this. I was like,
So rude.
absolutely not, because I was
Yeah.
like, he was like, so being like, "Thank you so much for showing us how you treated her in your relationship," because like he was like, "How about do you
Yeah.
want to do this now?" And then you saw she got like timid in a way
Mhm.
where I was just like, that's inappropriate.
Yeah.
Get the man off the
Mhm.
show.
Very much.
Yeah, I was like, it's a no from me. And also, I didn't like Tyler even in his season as well, because he was just like a game player, and Kaz was a favorite in her season, and he knew it. And he knew that if he like rides with her, there was likely chance he would get to the finals. So I feel like him and Toby and Lewis, thank Lewis, RIP to him off the show. No.
Yeah. I think,
And I hate to say
unfortunately,
this as a Black woman hating all the Black men.
yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
where you put him. I'm very confused by
Yes.
why he's here. Like,
Mhm.
what's his?
He got there immediately was like, why do you pick Cass? It was like he didn't even have a real reason.
Yes, it
His
was a
reasoning
Yeah.
is so freaking weird. I'm like, why did you just pick her? He said,
Mhm.
no, it doesn't matter. Or what did he say? Something like, even though there's so many beautiful people, beautiful women here, I'm still gonna pick Cass. I was like, what? How does that make sense?
And when she
Like,
was like,
she's
"What, I need
beautiful as
more."
well.
Yeah.
Way to win her over. Good job. You
Yeah.
couldn't find a better line, dude? Like,
Even Maya interjected and when it was like,
Yeah.
I think she was looking for a little more.
something more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she
Even
was looking
Maya
for
was
a
like, "This
reason,
guy."
and then he's like, yeah, it was just so confusing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, Maya, thank you for trying to help, and then he still
Yeah.
has nothing to say. It's like
Totally.
those people that they're like, oh, I love you. There's people, and like when you ask them, like, oh, okay, that's great. They'll just jump into saying, I love you. And then you ask them why, it's like, you're great.
Mm-hmm.
That's just,
Totally.
that type of thing isn't going to work in the future.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Yeah. We also had Toby in the why are you here
He can stay there.
I think he's
How do you
stuck
guys?
there.
Yeah, leave him there.
Leave the man there.
Leave him there. And I think Josh
Yeah.
is our last guy.
I'm also
He's
like,
why are you here?
why are you here?
Yeah.
Because he came in, was like, I'm looking for something serious, immediately put it on Georgia. They were like going in a good direction.
Mhm.
Then was like, oops, I have a thing for Molly.
Mhm.
And she was like, I thought you were looking for something serious this time around. And yeah, but now he's been pushed to the side by Molly, which serves him right.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah, I thought it was really cute when he picked Hannah on to talk to her because they were on the same season. I thought it was cute. I knew it wasn't gonna work because he didn't seem that into her, but I just thought it was cute to just hear them interact and reconnect.
They're
Just wonder
like,
like what type of guy would work for Hannah.
I know, they're like bro and sis. And I'm ready for a man to come in that's excited
Mhm.
about Hannah. It's been a lot of boys so
Mhm.
far. And I don't think they've seen her as a friend than more than
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe.
She's just like the older sister of the villa right now.
Yeah. And I also don't trust Tyler's intentions because, again, he obviously might have been watching and seeing, okay, she's the only one, like, apart from
Mhm.
Kaz that's available. So I
Yep.
don't think his interest, I just feel like, for example, like, random examples like how these guys think about kissing is like when Mitch was asked like did he kiss Lib in bed and he was like it was in bed, like when I'm in bed I'm really cuddly. So he basically was saying like they just like it's sometimes just not about the girl, it's just about like how they feel like in the
Right.
That was wild.
Yikes.
Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Messy Mitch.
Big
Mm.
yikes.
I think that's all, you guys. And we'll post the results on our socials. Make sure you follow us on there to see, to comment and let us know your thoughts.
Okay, so this is the portion of the episode. I don't know, I feel like I'm a show host.
You are, girl.
This is the,
You
I
are.
don't know, like on TV. Anyway, this is the part of the episode where we discuss what we've been seeing, especially, and I also think this is exciting this week because this section last week, we didn't have that much talking being spoken about. This section is where we talk about what we've seen online and we've seen what just like the gossip online as to who to expect in the villa or just people's reactions or people who know the islanders and their reaction about everybody in the villa. Yeah, it's been great. Personally, I've been reading up and it's been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
we say spoilers, we should make sure to say FYI, we're about to say a potential spoiler, just so that people can like fast forward a few
Totally.
seconds.
Yeah, spoilers. And
Yes.
also, a lot of these are rumors. We cannot confirm or deny if this is fact
Yes.
or fiction.
Allegedly.
Yes, alleged, yes.
Allegedly.
Exactly.
Yes.
People online have been saying these things. We like to talk about it.
Yeah.
Cool. Nicole, would you like to tell us about your...
Yeah. This was an interesting TikTok that I saw about the Love Island All-Stars, right? So the difference between regular Love Island and Love Island All-Stars is these folks have already been on the show
Mhm.
before.
Mhm.
And a typical story of what happened, an original Love Islander comes on the show is that they're the hottest in their group. And then they come in and they realize, oh shit, I'm not the hottest one in my group. And I actually have to go out of my way to talk to people and get in with so and actually assert myself. And
Yeah.
also sometimes their egos are lost. So
Mhm.
this TikToker basically said, how do you build that same sort of like storyline? She was like, she is guessing that the producers reached out to all of these cast members and were like, people are asking for you. They're so excited for you to be on All Stars. You are the top of your season. We need you back. Everyone's rooting for you. And that's how they got them to commit to come to the show. And now there's all of this chaos happening, obviously, when they're realizing there's a whole other selection of people who were like the favorite on their series or whatever. So I thought that was interesting analysis. It's still like the same story arc. Their like egos have to bend a little bit, but different kind of like perception playing and the producers stirring the pot a little bit.
Interesting.
Super.
I think a lot of the people that were like really that we would be excited to see, we have not seen. I'm hearing that just alongside this rumor that they were like begging people to get to go.
Yeah.
Anton to be the first. I don't think Anton was like a first pick. Sorry, Anton, if you're listening to this.
Yeah, no.
But I just, yeah.
Let's face it, I totally agree with what you're saying, because like the people who are actually the Love Island favorites have so much going on that they're like, I don't need to do this again. Like, why would they? So they have to like get people riled up and remind them that they're like important on the show again. The producers really do have to build up the cast and try to bring them back on. So yeah, it's an interesting point.
Truth of this is that if they do come back and they were a fan favorite, it's like your image might change. You might potentially have bad edits or content that you don't want, and then your reputation changes. Or you might get like a refresh and you might get like a little bit more followers because people didn't see you back then. But the odds are that if you're already doing well and you are actually people's favorites, you're not gonna be jumping to be the first one on the show. They have to pay a lot, and I don't think they pay I don't think these people were paid that much to go here. They're just not that high up on everybody's radar.
Yeah. Apparently one of the, I guess, the bombshells that comes into the island, somebody saw her on a flight to South Africa, and they were like, that can't be her. Because they saw her in economy class, premium economy. So they were saying ITV couldn't even put them like in like first class or like in business class. So, and also like the flight to Cape Town from like London it's
far.
But it's also far, but it's also, you don't have to, it's just one ticket. You don't have to, like, there's a direct flight. So you guys couldn't even splurge for like people like to come out for that. That's but funny. I don't know.
That's funny.
That's because they held on to the games contestants and they gave them a whole freaking resort experience. Like all the games contestants were booted off, and then they had to stay at the resort the whole freaking time to
the budget went there. Fiji. I mean, to South Africa, flights to Fiji are more expensive than I'm assuming, to South Africa, because Fiji is also just a little bit like further to get to. But I agree, with the getting everyone to come back, because I think, in my opinion, is like everyone, like all the people that were our favorites, I think for them is, again, they all like hang out in the same circles is what we're seeing. Some of them, when like a new bombshell comes in, you see some of them say, oh, nice to meet you, but some of them, they're excited to see each other. So I guess they're weighing the options of, if only my friends or like people that I'm not even going to be interested come on the show, what am I going to get out of it? And if they think nothing, then I'm assuming they're not going to come back.
Yeah. The other thing that I saw is, and this is to be expected, all of the folks now in the villa are like, they don't have their social media, and like everyone that's a bombshell that comes in also won't have social media. So all of the fans are like stalking other Love Islanders' social media to see when they post. And Lunga, spoiler, unfortunately, Ovi has posted something on X and then on Instagram. So the man is unfortunately not coming on. And same with Moira, but we guessed that. And
Moira, I would have been shocked if she came back, but Ovi, devastated.
I know.
Absolutely devastated. But I get it, but still devastated.
I know.
Did he explicitly tweet or send out that message that he was not coming?
No, he didn't explicitly say that he wasn't coming, but he tweeted in that window of, oh, they're starting Love Island and people aren't in that like separate area where they're not allowed to be on
Hmm.
social. So that's what the fans are doing. They're
Okay.
basically seeing if people are posting at this point in time just to see if they're coming on or not.
That makes sense.
Got it.
Tell
Okay.
us more about the Lewis and the gum disease, Nicole.
Okay, so remember how
Yes.
in the preview episode we were talking about how people prescribe Love Islanders and like that's how
Oh,
Demi
yes.
discovered her neck thing.
Oh,
And
yes.
oh my God. So
Oh,
Boris sent me this article. He was like, it's from The Sun. I don't know if you'll like this. And I was like, what is it? And he was like, apparently some dentist has been watching watching Lewis and the way he talks and smiles, and he doesn't really show all of his teeth. He
Uh-huh.
might be in pain or something. And when he does smile, his gums look inflamed.
Oh
And
my
like
God.
basically, I think Lewis has gum disease. So he might be coming out of the villa finding out that
Going to the
Ew,
dentist.
so Demi better stop making out with him.
I know that's pretty gross too.
You'd be getting gingivitis from this man.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I don't know if it's true, but I thought that was hilarious.
That's
that Mary-
Oh my
Crazy.
God, that's
Wow.
hilarious.
And
We
then the
hope
whole
you're
I feel
well.
I know
bad.
the whole season, the whole episodes too, we were like watching his
That's
mouth and he's like this.
crazy.
He smells like this.
Oh, poor guy.
I know.
Well, one of the
That's
things
bad.
I noticed, speaking of the Sun, another reliable source of information, the Daily Mail. That's when this is where I read the article about them speaking about Chloe's Instagram posts, because apparently she posted like a carousel. Is that what it's called? A
Mhm.
carousel of
Yes.
pictures, and like I think it was like her like photo dump, and I think like one of the pictures was like appears to look like her crying. So people were saying and also she I think posted that like the day of the episode where Toby basically says that like maybe they broke up because like he cheated on her. And so like it just shows her like sad and like tears on her face, even though the other pictures were like her, I think, on vacation in Australia. I can't recall. But obviously the final one was like maybe if I don't know if that's a thing on social media. The last one is, I don't know, a mic drop. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me. But then
So,
Mhm.
yeah, I thought Georgia H was the one that kept pressing Toby during that discussion. So she was like, what happened? Why did you
Mhm.
and Chloe break up?
Mm,
And he was
mhm.
like, oh, things didn't work out, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. And then she was like, what exactly? She was like honing in, what
Mhm.
happened? What happened? And then eventually she like kept probing and was like, what did she do? What did she post? Did she
Yeah.
cheat? It was just so
Yeah.
much. I
It
don't know.
was-
I feel like he should have just Toby, whenever he doesn't know what to say, he just freezes and says, yeah, no, and then we just have to assume stuff. But then I think in that case, he did say that he did like allude to her cheating, which is awful. I don't know
I
if it's
know.
actually true, but
Well, I
from the
think
sounds of it, it
sorry
doesn't sound like it
to
was.
technically talking to my next point is this is when it gets confusing, is because another article was like, remember when Toby and when Arabella walked in and Toby was like, oh yeah, we did hook up, and remember everyone was like, when did you guys do it? And I think they said 18 months ago.
Yes.
And according to people on the internet, they were like, if you do a little bit of math, that time when they could have hypothetically hooked up, got to know each other, Toby was still dating Chloe. So everyone's make it make
Oh,
sense.
no.
So they're being like, so how were you guys together if Toby was supposed to be with his girlfriend? So I'm also very convenient that B obviously has the stage and he can say whatever, and all Chloe has is, I guess, Instagram. So I also was like, that's very interesting. And also Toby obviously strikes me as the kind of guy that like will throw anybody under the bus for him to end up on top.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Gabby, but I just wanted to if you were thinking about it, it's being like, it's like a mess in general, because it's like, what can we believe about what Toby's saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chloe, if you're listening to this or watching us, let us know what
We want to know
happened.
this
We
story.
want
Give us the
we want to
timeline.
break the news.
And then I guess I have, this is just one more spoiler that I saw, because I'm assuming by this time, if you're listening to this, you've gotten to the end of the episode where they showed the bombshells. And one of the bombshells is going to be Tom, who also was a fine favorite of mine. So like, Obi, knowing that Obi's not coming back, but glad Tom will be back on our screens. But that being said, I think they were trying to push for Sammy to come back, and I think she's found out that he's coming back, and so she's decided, apparently, allegedly, she's not going to return to the villa. So I'm assuming they might be trying to stick to that like X on the beach
Yeah.
thing.
Good
Makes
for
sense.
her for
Mhm.
finding that out and like realizing, hey, not for me.
Yes.
Yeah. And looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing what Terrace Tom gets up to.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that nickname.
Mhm.
Excited for
Yes.
him.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine they bring Casey back.
Oh,
A
we
package
don't want
deal.
The
that.
chaotic men.
Oh my God.
Please.
But
No.
everyone out there, if you have any fan theories, speculations, gossips, if you're Chloe, slide into our DMs and just let us know what's happening and let us truly know. We want to know, what was Toby lying? What?
Tea.
Yeah, we just want to know the tea. That's
Yeah.
exactly that. And Tia, and also if you know that Ovi is coming back, people in the universe, please let us know.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Proper Chat. We'll be back next Thursday to recap the next several episodes of Love Island All Stars. Make sure to follow us on Proper Chat Pod on both Instagram and TikTok and let us know what content you're enjoying from us. If you're enjoying our content, please don't forget to give us a 5-star rating, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube now, so you don't miss all of our future episodes. Your rating really matters to us, and it keeps us excited to continue making content. Until next time, stay proper and stay chatting.